What's going on, guys? We're back today with another review, and this time we have the added bonus of going over our predictions video from earlier in the week and seeing how good we did predicting the plot of the film. Now, if you haven't seen that video, I'll link a card up in the corner for you to check that out. I'm going to do my review first, and then we'll save the scoring of my predictions for the end. So let's dive in. Birds of Prey is a superhero film directed by Kathy Yan in her first big budget production, with writing going to Christina Hodson, who wrote 2018's Bumblebee, my personal favorite Transformers movie, and starring Margot Robbie, Ewan McGregor, and Rosie Perez. So there's quite a lot of talent behind this film, and while it is quite an enjoyable film, I just don't see myself ever watching it again. It's the kind of movie that by December you'll have forgotten it even came out this year. But that's not to say it's bad, because I was never bored by this movie. It's a pretty enjoyable popcorn movie. Ewan McGregor is so thoroughly entertaining and chews up every scene he's in, and Margot Robbie perfectly captures the chaotic energy of Harley Quinn. But outside of them, the rest of the cast are hampered by playing stereotypes of stock characters. The kid who witnessed her parents killed, the cop at odds with fellow officers about a wealthy man who is secretly a mobster, a thief who has the very thing everyone is looking for. It's just very derivative of the dozens of comic book movies that have flooded our screen in the last decade, and to some that won't matter. In fact, it's their selling point, and to each their own, but I myself are bored of it. Having said that, I still think this is a movie you should go see. The performances are the best selling point. Ewan deserves so much more recognition than he gets these days, and hopefully after this 1-2 punch of Doctor Sleep and Birds of Prey, followed soon by his return to Obi-Wan Kenobi, I pray to see more love for this guy outside of the prequel memes subreddit. Margot is also more than capable of holding her own against Ewan, and some of the best scenes are just seeing these two just try to out-eccentric themselves to one another. I could have done with a whole movie of that, and that would have sold me. And even though they're playing stock characters, the rest of the cast throw themselves in there, and Rosie Perez and Mary Elizabeth Winstead in particular do the best with what they're given. Now, the action is just alright, nothing out of the wheelhouse of normal fight scenes in today's blockbuster world. The 360-degree shot of all the girls fighting at the end was cool, but outside of that, most of the fighting scenes I already struggled to remember. Ewan's death scene is particularly memorable and surprisingly violent. All in all, it's about what I expected. Now, before I put a bow on this and give it a rating, let's take a look at how we did on predictions. I was right 4.25 out of 10, leaving me with 5.75 of the bullet points being wrong. So for the most part, I was way off plot-wise, but right on the money where it counted, the theming. And I gave myself a half point or a smidge here and there based on the answers. I got the opening image way off as the police scene ended more towards the end of the second act, and besides a few scenes to introduce the girls, this isn't really a flashback movie. The theme stated was spot on, which was the most important one for me. A plot can happen in a million different ways to get from point A to point B, but without that theming, it doesn't have a snowball's chance of mattering. The setup was also right, though it wasn't a hard guess to assume that our setup would be putting all the dominoes in place, the dominoes here being the girls. Our catalyst was also good, as Harley indeed sets off a chain reaction with the Black Mask to lead all these girls together. And our B story was half right. We were correct in assuming it would be Black Mask, but the contents of his B story were wrong. There was also a nice little B story in Huntress's vengeance as well. Our fun and games was way off target, as these girls don't really come together as a team until the very end, which also puts our midpoint right in the gutter as there's no team setback if there is no team. Our bad guys closing in was wrong, but I gave myself a little .25 for correctly guessing, though, that it would involve Quinn's fear of subservience once again reinforcing that theme. Our break into 3 was also off, as there was no team to break out of jail or even reunite in the first place. Though we did stick the landing with a half-right finale. The location was that creepy-ass clown circus, and the team did save the day and take out the Black Mask. I just missed the mark on the not killing him. They killed him all right. Violently. They also did form a team going forward. It just didn't involve Harley or Cassandra, but it definitely leaves it open for more adventures with them all. So even though I came up more wrong than right, I still chalk this up to a win. We got the theme of the movie right, and we correctly guessed the big beats. We missed hard in the meat of the second act, but there were plenty of paths this movie could have taken and still reached the same conclusion. I'm going to give Birds of Prey 3 stars. Guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate the time wasted listening to me prattle on. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more movie predictions and reviews in the future, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, we'll see you at the movies.